I wanted to give you guys an update on the Claytonia experiment. This that you see in the center screen right here is probably the best one, the one that survived the best. All of it's going to seed, and only one of them died. One of them is kind of struggling and still alive, but I don't think it's seeding. So this particular spot gets about approximately 5 hours of sun, but almost all of that sun is glancing rays. Late evening rays. Gets a little bit during the hotter noon sun, but really not very much. And the soil type is really enriched, broken down compost from a wood pile that I had sitting here for about approximately 20 years or so. So everything here, that's the conditions, and I think that's what we're going to look at going forward. Now, like I said, everything is starting to seed, and the real test will be whether or not it self-seeds. Because like I've said before, if it doesn't self-propagate, in my opinion, it's not really permaculture. So we'll see how that goes, and we won't know that for quite a while. But so far, it seems to be this is a crop that can survive the weird Arctic winters we've been having. And as soon as it started to get warm, it started to go to seed and turn this yellowish color. I published a short on this, a video short, and when I filmed that, it was probably about a week before this, the Claytonia looked a little better than it does now. I'll take you through and show you the rest of it. We have another one over here, similar conditions, pretty rich soil, handmade compost, and you can see all of it right here on the edge of this oregano. All of it's also going to seed. It's doing fairly well. Another thing that I did when I planted it in my first video, I mentioned that I should have thinned them out. I had like 10 plants in a little 2-inch by 2-inch spot. So I probably should have thinned that out, and that would have made them grow a lot better. But despite all that, they tend to do okay. This particular spot gets a little bit less sun, but also at the same time it gets more direct sun instead of glancing rays. So and it kind of grows on the edge of this, it kind of likes it here on the edge of this oregano. I have one back here, and this is one of them. I said it isn't doing very well, but even it is kind of going to seed right here. So we'll see what happens with that. It's almost total shade there. We'll go look at some others. And this one, it's considerably more shaded than the first two spots. And on top of that is growing in nearly almost all clay. Clay-like, rock-like soil that we have here, the native soil. And it's going, enough of it survived that it's going to seed, despite being grown too many of them together. So that's encouraging. It's also drier here. And this one right here, last one. This one's in almost complete shade. It gets some glancing rays during the noon sun for about 2 to 3 hours. It's also going to seed and survived pretty well. Fairly rich soil here, but it's mostly native soil. Almost there's some compost here, but not too much. So there it is, folks, the Claytonia experiment update. I'm calling it a success. Figured I'd capture a little bit of an update on the broadleaf dock bed. They are starting to flower and seed. The seeds are edible. And you can see these are probably about 2 feet high. Everything in there. Something looks like it got in there and laid down if you look. So it provides habitat, food for you, and controls the Bermuda grass. The Bermuda grass is all but gone at this point. And I mentioned in another video that letting these broadleaf weeds, things like this, grow, the aphids prefer them. And I would let them grow to keep them off your crops. Let them grow if you're growing domestic brassicas. Grow them with some space away from your domestic brassicas. And it does help control the aphids, I found. But yeah, nice big giant bed of food with my broadleaf dock. Thought you might like to get the update.